Hi guys, it's Nicola here again from Conscious Crypto Traders. Yay, hello everybody. We are going to have a really awesome live stream. This is our regular live stream that we do every Wednesday. Normally I'm joined with Teresa, but she is unable to join me today. So it's just me. And a reminder for the next few weeks, while we're looking at coming up to break out of this big pattern that we've been in for weeks now for Bitcoin, we're doing live streams at the same time every day because we want to monitor the breakout of this big pattern because it is going to be, there's going to be a lot of profits there for those who are leveraged traders. So let's just start with the agenda. This is the agenda that we have for today. I'm going to go over price of Bitcoin, what's going on with the action. It looks pretty bullish at the moment. Is that going to continue? Are we going to go to lower prices? So we'll do some technical analysis on Bitcoin. I want to talk about FOMO because a lot of people got wrecked last night. I want to go over why that was and the mindset that you need to have so you don't end up getting wrecked in this market. And we will look at Ethereum, technical analysis on Ethereum, and then how to think about entering your trades using the Ichimoku cloud so that you don't get into trades when there are clear indicators showing that there could be a reversal as soon as you get in it. And then next thing you know, you're in the red and you're paying fees to be in that trade, which means you're compounding how much you could potentially lose. We want to avoid that. I'm going to show you how to do that today. And then we're going to do technical analysis for XRP. If we get time and people are interested, I'll do EOS and ADA, but I need to see comments in the comment section in order to do that. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. And of course, we're going to talk about the conference. So if you're new to this channel, we'd love your subscription. We are a new channel. We are growing fast. Our channel, this is our channel here, is all about giving technical analysis training, talking about scenarios that you need to be aware of that could affect the price of Bitcoin, of altcoins when you are doing leverage trading or even spot trading. And we're also about talking about mindset and doing some mindset training. So if you come over to our channel and you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that and hit the bell and click all so that you can get our live streams every Wednesday. At the moment, it's every day for the next few weeks. Here's the time. Plus, we're uploading tutorial videos on technical analysis, beginner and advanced strategies and techniques on a daily basis. And as you scroll down, you'll see we've got created playlists, a whole lot of tutorials on Bybit, how to use Bybit, how to trade with leverage in Bybit, as well as trading view tutorials we're uploading at the moment. Here are all of our live streams. Then we've got for beginners talking about Bitcoin, altcoins, DeFi, and NFTs. We've also got a how to do something. And if you ask us in the comment section how to do something, we can do a video specifically on how to do that. Trading Champions, which is all about trading strategies, and Mindset Champions is all about creating a great mindset and good psychology, because that is 80% of your profit in your trading life, as well as scenarios that can affect it. We also do interviews. We've done one with Da Vinci J and Jeroen from the blockchain today. We've got another, we've got about 5 more interviews that are ready to upload. We've done an interview with Crypto Love, Digital Asset News, and also Sian Kenshin, and Marzel Money, who are crypto traders as well. So there's a lot of free training on how to trade and how to put your strategies together on our channel. We really encourage you to go and have a look at what is going on there to help you become a better trader. Now let's look at Bitcoin. I'm going to start with Bitcoin technical analysis, then I'm going to go to Ethereum, and then XRP. And if you want, in the comment section, please put that you want EOS and ADA. So here's what we've got here. Since we've had this really big dump, we have been trading a lot. First, it looked like we were trading in a sideways channel, but then we started getting lower lows, and then we started looking like we were going in a descending, narrowing wedge. So these green lines here, that's what we're looking at now. I've got this straight line across here because we've been getting significant support around 30,000, and we just don't seem to want to go to below it for too long. Now, so that's why I've drawn that line there. And this is important because if we're looking at this as being a support line and this is a descending triangle, these patterns generally break to the downside more often than not. But if we're looking at this as a narrowing descending wedge, these patterns break to the upside. So if you're looking at putting in a trade, we need confirmed breakouts of this, not fake outs, which is what we've just had. So let's have a look at the 4 hour for Bitcoin. A lot of people got wrecked. They got wrecked last night because they were in shorts buying into the FOMO that we're going down to 24,000, we're going down to 20,000, we're going down below 20,000. And there were bullish divergences, indicators on the chart showing that the bottom is in potentially, and that we're not really going to go to those lower prices. And that's exactly what has happened. We still could do that, by the way, but we did have indicators that we're flipping bullish. If we look at this 4 EMA ribbon here, we're looking at some crossover beginning to happen. So there's indications that we're going bullish here. But if you were in a short last night and you didn't take profit when we hit the support line because you were buying into the FUD, you may have stayed in the trade and then we reversed really quickly upwards, and that happened when I was sleeping. And so then now you're losing money because, you know, we're above where the short probably was entered, unless of course you were smart enough to enter into a short further up. So why I'm mentioning this is because people are FOMOing in, and that was what I want to talk about before we look at any possible trades for Bitcoin right now. FOMOing in here, a lot of people FOMOed in here. They put in shorts here because it's like, oh my God, we fell down, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. And in actual fact, we ended up started trading sideways, and it looked like we were going to be forming an ascend. Well, first of all, it looked like a bear flag, so we could go, oh yes, this is going down. But then it looked like we're doing an ascending triangle, but we never came anywhere, not even halfway through it, right? Because if this was going to be an ascending triangle, we would have needed a bit more time to break out, and we broke out well in advance of that, right? Because that is a bullish pattern. So not a lot of people saw this coming unless you were using the CME Williams VIX down here. All these green candles were signifying the market's about to turn. The market's about to turn. It's about to go into a little bit of a bull run, which is exactly what it did. So we're using this on our channel, and as I said, every day doing live streams. So you want to be checking in. Make sure you subscribe so you get the notifications, because we're following this, and we've been saying there's a trend reversal coming for days now, and we haven't been buying into the bias that we are absolutely 100% going down to those lower rates. We may do, because we do have bearish, we are in a bearish structure if we're calling this a descending triangle, but we've come back into that pattern. But we've been calling that, saying it just might not happen, guys. So if you were banking on that and you FOMO'd in because you wanted to get this big 30% dump in profits, then a lot of those shorts got wrecked last night as we did this big spike at around it was towards the evening last night, right? And then it just continued. So how can we avoid that? Well, I'm going to be talking about looking at your entry points. But first of all, let's look at where Bitcoin's at right now on the 1 hour, because we've had a bit of a run, and now we've got this red candle. We got rejected at the top of the descending line here, which is acting as resistance right now. We've got a red candle down, so we got rejected off of that. So the next hour is going to be interesting to see, are we going to continue to come back down and then test this line? here, which is the bottom of the triangle, and go down or bounce back up again? That's the big question right now. But looking at this pattern here, I don't know if you can see this. That pattern there is really interesting because it could be a very imperfect, ugly inverse head and shoulders, in which case it doesn't matter whether it is or not, because we actually have already fulfilled the pattern. There's the neckline, and we feel that the wick touched it almost exactly, not quite, right? So we can call it that now, right? Hindsight is 2020. And also some people are saying, look at this cup and handles, which is also a bullish pattern. So we had signs that we were going bullish, and the target for the cup and handles is around about the same as the head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulders anyway. So guys, we had the signs that as we came up here, there was a possibility that we were going to flip bullish on a shorter time frame. So look at the RSI. The RSI is in overbought territory, so it's possible that we could see a little bit of downward action, and again, we could come back down to touch this line here. The reason I wouldn't short it though is because we're starting to get some bullish momentum. We're starting to get positivity in the market, and I'm not convinced we're going to those lower prices. So we are now back in the pattern, right? This pattern showed us that we might be going down. It reversed. So often when everybody is certain that Bitcoin's going to go one way, it U-turns and it goes the other way, which makes it difficult to trade. So when you're looking at entering into a trade and you go, should I short this? The very first thing I like to do is go to the Ichimoku cloud, and I use the, are you coming in there? Where are you? Here it is here. This Ichimoku cloud, which goes green and red to show where resistance is and where flow and momentum could be coming into the market. And generally speaking, if you want to short, we want to be under the Ichimoku cloud or way above it with an RSI where it is right now, and looking at shorting, and then choosing your entry point by going into the 1 minute. Right now, though, it kind of feels like we have hit a support, a resistance level, and we might actually just be looking at a little bit more support coming in there. So then what I do is I come down into the Ichimoku cloud. Oh, by the way, that is Kraken cryptocurrency Ichimoku, which is set for the cryptocurrency market. If we want to come down into the 15-minute to go, where are we going? You'll see that we are in the green, which is showing that we do have bullish momentum, and already we have a green candle going up. So at the moment, it's possible that we could try touching this point of resistance here a few times to see if we're going to break to the upside in the next couple of hours. So if you're looking at a trade, I would be looking at waiting for a confirmed breakout of the pattern that we are breaking out of right now, looking to be breaking out of right now. So let's go to the 1 hour. Sorry, I put in the 1 day. Like, we are so close to the breakout of this pattern, like we're coming into the pinnacle of it, right? That we want to wait. In my opinion, you don't have to follow me, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but in my opinion, you're going to get better bang for your buck if you save your capital to put in a long if we go up and a short if we go down once we've broken outside of the pattern. So what we're looking at, we've got a great support level here at 31,936. Where are we at with the price of Bitcoin right now? 32. We're above that right now. So we're above the support line. So above the support line is not a time to short. You short when it's under the support line that's flipped resistance, right? So this is danger territory here for entering a short or a long. We need to wait. We're sandwiched between resistance and support. We need to wait for a clear breakout. And right now, we've got contradictory signs. We might see a little bit of downward action, but on the shorter time frame, we might see us come back up to retest this. If we break out, this is the classic entry point. We break out with a confirmed clear green candle above the breakout if this is the bullish scenario, right? We do that. Then we come back down to retest the previous resistance and support. We go back up and we enter just after the breakout candle with a clear candle green above. We check the RSI to see the RSI is at the middle or down the bottom, and we check to see that volume is there. So we've got volume pushing the price away from your entry, and that is when you enter. So what I do is I will come down to the 1 minute to see, is there anything coming up in the Ichimoku, because the Ichimoku is a little bit predictive ahead of time to let us know, are we in for a surprise? If I enter along here, am I in for a surprise? And is this going to reverse? And you will see on the 1 minute, we're up against a resistance line. So we don't want to long here, and we don't want to long above it up to there. Unless you're an experienced scalper, we want to wait to the breakout, right? So the 1 minute is telling me, because we've got resistance here, we're in the red, and it's potential downside here, this is a little bit of risky territory to enter along. It's also a risky territory to enter a short because we've got an incline. So it looks like we might test this resistance a little bit more and then come up here and test this resistance. So we're in a waiting game here, right? Now let's go back to the 1 hour, because we were in a waiting game yesterday as well. And then the wait was over, and most of us were either in bed or so we didn't see that, or it was happening so quickly you couldn't catch it, right? If I take this out here, here's where, when we're talking about entry points, and this channel is all about teaching good TA, we would have missed this long. So how could we have known that this long was going to work out for us, right? Because nobody saw this coming. We had this structure here. We were looking at maybe going further down, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get this huge buy order in, probably some whale, and then we start to pick up momentum. We get inside the pattern and we go up. Had we have waited for it to come back down, the price action to come back down, and retested this line as flipping over to support, we would have missed this long, right? You wouldn't have got that if you use this technique, which is a conservative technique of entering into a trade. So the other way that you can enter is by going into smaller time frames and having a look at where the RSI is. So if we had a look at where the RSI was, it was here, right here before. So it was in the middle. So we had plenty of room to move to the upside. We had plenty of room to move to the downside. And if you were on the weekly, 4 hourly or weekly? 4 hourly. If you were on the 4 hourly, which is really reliable, you would have seen these green candles here on the CM Williams VIX Fix, and you would have known that we're about to have an uptrend, right? So then you come down into the Ichimoku on the 1 minute to see where the incline is on the cloud. So where was it? Oh, I've lost it. Give me a moment here. Here it is here. This is the candle that it went up. Let me just take that Ichimoku off so you can see very clearly. And let me take the 4 MA so you can. So here, right there, is where you could have seen, is this going to go? Is this going to go to the upside? And you wouldn't have actually have seen it, because look, the RSI was overbought. So this is just something that we just can't see, these price manipulations. But what we can look at is the Ichimoku cloud. Now I'm going to bring this in, delete that. Need you to get delete all of that so that you can see clearly with the Ichimoku. We could have seen it coming on the Ichimoku cloud because look, we had an incline, boom, green cloud here. So we could have seen ahead, hey, there's going to be a run up, and we could have had some alerts and been ready to catch it just as it broke out here and took off and then maintained that. And that is really a day trading strategy, right? Coming down into the Ichimoku, looking at the projection of that Ichimoku cloud. So we're going to do some more tutorials on this for you. If you would like us to, we'd love you to like this video, like this live stream to help us out here. We're a new channel giving free tutorials on price action and how to use technical analysis. And each time we do a live stream, we want to do a tutorial as well to give you a little bit more information on how to, how to trade with leverage. So that's how we could have caught that. We could have caught that by looking at the 1 minute Ichimoku cloud. And here again, we are overbought on the Ichimoku. We have volume. So it's a waiting game. I would wait for it to break out to the upside. Now, it is absolutely possible we could reverse down from here and come back down on the 1 minute. We do have a bit of a decline on the Ichimoku. So then what I do is I go to the 4 hourly and I go, are we predicting ahead of time if we're going to go bullish? And I would start to expect to see how we've gone from green to red. I would expect to see some green showing up here to give me confidence that this long isn't going to U-turn, right? And then if it looks like it's going to U-turn, then I'm going to take profits early instead of leaving the trade open for days where it could blow up in my face and go back down to the lower price points. So if we break out of this, confirm breakout, enter a long, right, good entry. We're going to want to have a look at just waiting to see where we break out. The actual target, the first target is going to be at 41,252, and I believe we've got some support lines or resistance lines there. So let me bring those in. So on the way up, we're going to hit resistance at 34,645. We're going to hit more resistance at 35,987, and then more resistance at 38,470. So those are all points on the way up to the ultimate target of 41,351 that you want to take note of. And if you start seeing the Ichimoku cloud going red, that's an opportunity to take some profit before it reverses and goes back down to the other side. But we are monitoring this. If you're in Crypto Ninjas, we're placing our signals for and trade alerts in there. And if you're just following us on the channel, we are monitoring this on a daily basis so that we want to get this big run. And if I'm not out and about, Teresa and I might go live as we break out to watch the breakout because this is a really big trade. And then, of course, if we're looking at the bearish the bearish scenario, we're going to be watching to see if it comes back down and comes down to 30,700. But we've got so much support here, so many buyers. Like when we came in here at 29, I think it was it 29,100, something like that. We had a rush of buyers coming in. So there's a lot of buying going on down around there to keep the price kind of buoyant above. So the bottom line is, if I was to have a bias, the bias for me would be more bullish than bearish, but I am open to it going down. As leverage traders, you can short and make money whether it goes down, and you can long and make money whether it goes up. So that is Bitcoin, and that is entry points. So let's go over to Ethereum. And Ethereum is looking more bullish because it's already broken out of this downward this downward channel. And that is a bullish pattern which breaks to the upside. And the target for that is 23.98. So I have already entered into a long. on this one. So I'm already there. Let's have a look at a trade for you that you want to watch. Remember I said, the conservative approach is we break out, we come back down, retest the support, the previous resistance line of support, and then enter back in here. Only what's been happening is we haven't actually been doing those retests more than just a few red candles. So now, again, let's use our Ichimoku because there could be a good entry in here, and I would bring in the Ichimoku cloud to see where the trajectory of price action is. And you can see that we're in danger territory here because the Ichimoku cloud is going across. However, on the 1 hour, we've got light at the end of the tunnel. We've just started to go green, which means that there is a potential bullish upswing about to occur. So we may see a little bit of downward price action over the next hour or so. And then if it bounces back up and comes all the way back up to, say, 1983, 1985, actually, let's call it 1988 because there's a little bit of resistance going on here. That would be a good entry point, and you would ride this all the way up to 2400, which is the top of the 20, here it is, the top of the wedge, boom, here. However, as I said yesterday, and I spoke about that in ninjas, if we do that, if we fulfill that pattern, we have a W, which is a trend reversal, right? In which case, we would then be looking at the neckline would be here. Probably be, probably be there. Let's call it there. And then we would be looking at a target of approximately 2987, which I think is the top of the, look, that's the top of the descending line here that we have. So the bottom line here is that Ethereum's looking a little bit more bullish, I think, than Bitcoin, and it might actually lead us out of this downward trend. We can also reverse to the downside because we've seen these U-turns, but for now there is a long here for us as soon as we get that confirmation that this line is now flipping over to being a support line rather than a resistance line. And then if we bring in the dynamic support and resistance lines, you can see that we got rejected off of the 1994. So yeah, so when I said the entry point, I said it at 1986, didn't I? We should actually look at an entry point of about 2009 if you want to be on the safe side. So let's get past this resistance and then go put in the long there to ride it all the way up to the top to 2400 and possibly beyond. For me personally, I'm already in a long. I'll probably take profits if we get to here, or we touch here, or take some profits at this resistance level, possibly at about 2173, and then re-enter some more into the trade once we get above it and we break out and go to the upside. But again, we'll go over that tomorrow or the next day whenever that happens. For now, let's have a look at looking at where everything is once we get above 1994 to, let's say, what did I say, 2009 as an entry point. And what you want to check before you enter is the RSI. Are we in the middle or the bottom? So we got room to move. Do we have any green candles here showing that we are swinging up? And then let's go down to the Ichimoku on the 1 minute. I'm just going over this again so that we don't see any surprises, because how often have you gone into a trade and then it's gone the opposite direction, right? So the Ichimoku on the 1 minute is showing we could come down a little bit. We could come down a little bit, but look at this. We are crossing over. This is the baseline of the Ichimoku cloud. This is the conversion line. It's about to cross over, which means we're heading into bullish territory. And so at the moment, we want to wait for that really good entry point, as I mentioned before. So the 1 hour isn't telling us to enter. The 1 minute rather is not telling us to enter. The 1 minute's telling us to wait for a little bit more action for confirmation. And if we come back down here, hit this line here, or hit a sort of like 1919 maybe, and we get rejected off of there and we turn back up here on a green candle, that is really good entry point as well, around 19 May, I don't know, just depends on where it comes down to, 1910, 1935. But you just must remember 1946 is a pretty good resistance line. But you could, in theory, enter there and scalp it up if you're an experienced scalper, if you just wanted to make that little run up, because with 10x leverage, that's a 50% increase, right? But that's not what we do on this channel. We do that. We want to do the bigger patterns because they are more reliable, and there's less U-turning on those bigger time frame patterns than those short little scalps. So that is Ethereum. Now let's have a look at XRP. XRP is getting good news, and I think that we're starting to see that on the charts. Have a look at the RSI on the 15-minute. Like, it's not going down. It's going across. Let's have a look what's going on the 1 hour. We are inside of a bullish pattern. Let me just turn off all that noise for you. Right, we are inside a bullish pattern, which is inside potentially a bearish pattern, which I spoke about yesterday. Actually, let me go on to the daily just to show you. This is a descending wedge, breaks to the upside. The target is 73 cents, call it 73 cents. However, we've got support here, a lot of support coming in around 50 cents or just above 50 cents. We've got it here, and we've got it over to the left. If you look to the left, there's quite a bit of activity around there. So this could be our bottom for XRP, but I've drawn the line there to show that we've got an ever so slight upward trend. So we did a higher low here. So that's to watch out for. So let's have a look at whether there's a trade here. This is another example of, when we come down and when we go to the side here. When it was about here, it's like everybody was saying, oh, this is a bear flag, and that means we're breaking to the downside, and we could be going to 50 cents, which is to go back down and test that support, right? But when it starts keep going, like when we started getting to the top here and we pushed at the top here, often when we're pushing up against the top of the resistance line is wanting to break through, didn't, came back down, and then bang, sprung back up. When we get past a certain point on a flag, I want you to make a note of this. We could see a Bart Simpson or an inverse Bart Simpson, which is exactly what we got. And Bart Simpson, as in the character in The Simpsons, is his head, right? There it is there. So when you start seeing a bear flag or a bull flag trading a little bit too much to the sideways, after we've come down on a straight line dump, or if it's a straight line pump, you've got to be really aware that we may get a sudden reversal. So in this instance, we dumped and the sudden reversal was to the upside. Oops. And then boom, we got that Bart Simpson, right? This was not a bear flag in the end at all. So you need to watch out for that. So, and this was really sharp. Now, could Ichimoku have actually helped us? And Ichimoku's dynamic, right? It's looking at moving averages, it's looking at price action, and then it's coming up with these clouds of resistance and support. So if you had have looked at the Ichimoku, see, let me take those out there. See where the Ichimoku cloud goes straight here on the when the cloud's red and you get a straightish green line, and then you get a really strong dump down. It looks like, oh my God, the price is going to dump. Sometimes it does, but often when you see that kind of right angle, you get a pump. So we could have started to have gotten alerted to the fact that a pump was coming by following the Ichimoku cloud, right? And then we got this W here. Boom, there's the W. Then the fact that we just went a little bit too far from a bear flag indicated we were on high alert that this was going to be a reverse Bart Simpson. And now we could even say, is this an inverse head and shoulders? It's not a pretty one because your right shoulder is really small, right? And everything is touching the neckline though. And we might as well treat it as an inverse head and shoulders, because if you had caught that, oops, which is where I put the line, if you had caught that there, we have almost reached that target, fell short of the target by a few pips, right? Oh no, we didn't actually. If I draw the line there, we hit it exactly. Look at that. So the theory on trading breakouts is this green candle at 55.20 would have been the candle to get on to trade it upwards, or this green candle here, because we had a red candle to come back down to see if we were going to retest this neckline as a flipping to support from its previous resistance. So again, like all of these coins would have been really difficult to catch if you're not following the other indicators, like all of those indicators to give us a heads up for what's happening. We do have bullish momentum coming in here on the Ichimoku cloud on the 1 hour. It's the conversion line is crossing the baseline. So that's step one that we're going to be potentially going bullish. Step two would be looking at the 2 hour. Do we have a green cloud coming? We don't. Do we have a green cloud coming in the 4 hour? We don't. So we could still reverse back down. So we're in. I don't mean to be alarmist by using the word danger. I just mean be cautious with your trades right now if you're entering. So right now, what I would be looking at is waiting to either come back down to this support line here and then trade it as it comes back up the wedge, because this is a descending wedge which breaks to the upside more often, or I'd be waiting to get to the other side of this line here and then trading it all the way up to 73 cents. So that is that. Guys, a lot of people have been talking, let's go back to Bitcoin. A lot of people have been talking about us going into a bear market. And you know, on this channel, we've been talking about a super cycle and a double top market. So if we go back over to the weekly, you will see the Ichimoku cloud has got a huge ascension happening, sort of like any time between now and towards the end of August in price. So price action could go start going back up into the higher realms. And then what we would be looking at is, this is our bias, if there is any bias, of coming back up and going into those higher prices up to 100,000, 240,000. If you watch Carl the Moon's channel, who's really awesome, he did something where he showed a fractal of what's been happening over the various halvings, and it's potentially, if we go to through the bear cycle through to April next year, we could even go up to 700,000, which is awesome. So that's what we're looking at. And I think that as we come into what we're calling a potential super cycle, the timing of that is also around the timing of Saturn which is the planet of restriction of finances and career and business, going progressive. And it is going progressive. When did I have it on the date here? Let me just go back to this. This was last year, right? We're following the same pattern from last year. Entered Saturn retrograde in May, traded sideways, started getting tighter and tighter in terms of how low we were going, how high we were going, tighter and tighter, and then boom, shot up, came across, came back down, and then started going into the bull cycle. As we came out of the Saturn retrograde period, we started going up. So at the moment, we have been following that pattern exactly. If we come over here onto the daily, you will see that we have been trading sideways pretty much, right? But as we've gone on, the bottom and the top is tightened. There's not much distance between the bottom and the top. So that means that by the 2nd of August, according to last year, if we're following last year's fractal, we could be seeing a rally to the upside. And that coincidentally is around about where we're coming to the pinnacle of this pattern. So how interesting is that? Then in September through to, potential dump on the 15th of September, write that down, be aware of that. Screenshot this if you want to. Or Saturn progressive going on the 10th of October, that's when we could be going into the super cycle, if not a little earlier. And for that reason, Teresa and I have put together a conscious crypto event for 3 days of workshops, workshopping your strategies, what coins to get involved in with the super cycle around that time. On the 15th, 16th, and 17th of October, and the early bird special tickets are available now. The link is in the description below this video, the consciouscryptoevent.com/2021. We've got MMCrypto confirmed, DaVinci J15 confirmed, Offshore Citizen. He's going to be talking about maximizing your tax burden and maximizing your profit, and minimizing your tax burden. Crypto Wendy is going to be talking about altcoins and moonbagging with altcoins so that you can just increase your capital. Blockchain today, Jeroen von Lange is going to be talking about indicators to use and all of the different off-chain indicators you want to be looking at to see market trends. Ian Balliner from Tokenmetrics, we're still waiting on confirmation for him. Digital Asset News is confirmed. He's going to be talking about bull run exit strategies. Maha Dao is yet to confirm yet, but if he comes, he's going to be talking about non-inflationary, inflation pegged stable coins. Marzel Money is going to be talking about technical analysis. I'm going to be talking about mindset and psychology. Teresa is going to be talking about strategies. So how the event is set up is that there'll be hour-long talks from some of the traders on strategies and then tax maximization and mindset. We've got a couple of more speakers who we do know who they are. They just haven't got back to us to confirm if they can speak at the time we want them to. And then we've got these breakout technical analysis workshops where you're going to get to ask questions and have your portfolio looked at to get some feedback. Then we've got panels of experts where it's open and you're going to be able to ask questions. We're going to be asking our experts questions here of the best indicators to use. You can see the indicators that we use. We use the Ichimoku cloud a lot, right? The cracking cryptocurrency Ichimoku cloud. What other indicators should you be looking at to see trend reversals and get better entry and exit points? Bull run end predictions and exit strategies. We've got one more person to confirm on that one. Structures to minimize tax. We're going to have Michael talking a little bit more about that. Plus, we've got an American tax expert coming on board for Americans, but also looking at regulation, because whatever regulation happens with tax in America, usually you can see most Western countries will follow suit. Mindset. Let's talk about our mindset. And then what are you going to do with all that Bitcoin at the end of the bull run, as well as balancing your portfolio out with the top picks of altcoins, DeFi, NFTs and making the most of how you can profit in the bear market. Like, can you still make money in the bear market? So it's timed perfectly for the beginning of a potential super cycle. And we want you with all of the right equipment to profit, because this is the time that millionaires are made and multi-millionaires are made. And if you want that to be you, you need to be at this event. So click the link below to get your early bird ticket price. The specials run out at the end of July, so you've got a week and a bit to go, like 10 days or 11 days, something like that, isn't it? Before the price ticket will go up. And we also have limited seats because this is going to be on Zoom, and we only have a certain number of seats for people to be able to attend. So I wouldn't drag your feet on this. If you want to be here and position yourself to be one of those newfound overnight millionaires or even multi-millionaires, because you've got the right strategies, the right coins, and the right mindset, and also the right tax structure to make sure that the tax man isn't going to take all of it away from you, right? That's what we are looking at. So as I said, link for that is below. And be sure, guys, to subscribe if you're new to our channel. Check out our playlists, because we have lots of tutorials on strategies, leverage margin, Bybit, and also not just price action, but how to trade from the beginning. Some of our tutorials are also advanced strategies and trading strategies as well. So please explore our site. We love to have you be part of our community. We are a new channel. We're growing by 6% a day, which is really awesome. And you can help us out with that with our YouTube overlords with the algorithm by liking this video and also showing up to our live streams and making comments and subscribing, obviously. So I'm going to see you same time tomorrow. Let's see what's going to happen. Are we going to get a bigger breakout before August to end the year with a big, to end the month with a big bang, or are we going to see more downward price action? We'll look at that tomorrow as we get more information. Until then, guys, trade consciously. Make sure you're aware of everything you need to be aware of to get those good entry points and to get out if you need to, because the trade is heading in the opposite direction. Bye-bye.